in real life today.
What's up, everybody? It's Q and Chop, chopping it up. What's up, Chop? How's it going?
Man, Q, being good, man. How about you?
Man, I'm blessed, man. Other day, just getting it, man. Coming out of Corona and going to camp soon, so I'm excited about that.
That's a blessing, man. I've been going out to eat a little more, taking my precautions, getting my mask, my hand sanitizer, scrubbing right, left, right, then inside.
20 seconds, hot
20
water,
seconds, and, about 6 feet apart, and you just don't shake my hand.
Safe, man.
Just trying to stay safe. Man, today's guest is Morgan Brown. She works for NCFC and NC Courage, and she's the senior manager of communications. And she's a baller, and I know her from a long time. Morgan, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Doing good. We're chilling.
Glad to have you here. Appreciate you coming.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited about this.
So now you feel like a player now. You feel like, like a Courage girl right now.
Yeah, now I'm in their shoes. I have to see how easy or hard it is.
I think the first time is a little tough, but you get used to it after a while. It's always, I get nervous before everyone. It doesn't matter. It's like playing basketball for me.
That's true.
But nervous before everyone, especially when you love to do it. So,
man. So Morgan, you work for NCFC and NC Courage, but what's the official name? Like, what's NCFC?
North Carolina Football
Club. Okay. Just NC Courage is underneath the umbrella.
Yes, so North Carolina Football Club is the overarching club name, and then the two teams are North Carolina FC, also known as NCFC, that's our men's side, and then North Carolina Courage, which is the women's side. So
what's your role in the club?
I'm the senior communications manager.
Oh,
that's big time.
That's big time. So, ladies and guys, I know Morgan from probably 2017. It's been like 3 years already. But we started together in the street team for North Carolina Football Club. I have officially left probably 2019, 2018. You still rocked. Still rocking for them.
I'm still here. Yeah, I remember the days back in 2017 where it'd be a rain delay and Christian and I would be in the lower office hiding and just praying the rain delay didn't last 3 hours, because if it did, we'd be working until midnight. So those were the days back in 2017.
And it happened. And there's some games that, it happened. Like, it was like 16 minutes of the game already passed by. And then you get that first thunderstorm, boom, and then you hear the ref. Oh, now I'm like, and then you hear Chris, you hear everybody, Kelly, and all them, like, guys, go put everything back, and I'm like, and the rain, you're like, I hear getting wet, your jacket's wet. Oh man!
Tell everybody why it would make y'all stay to midnight. What would that cause if it was a 3-hour rain delay? What would that entail?
That we leaving like 1 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
Cleaning up or something, or
well, the fans would have to vacate the stadium, so it would just take so much time to get them out of the stadium and then back in the stadium. Everything that couldn't get wet, we'd have to make sure we covered it or put it back out after it stopped raining, and then just the game would be delayed for hours at a time sometimes, because these thunderstorms in the middle of July, they just pop up out of nowhere, and it seemed like 50% of the games we had a rain delay. And the fans can attest to this. They joke about it on social media. They're like, oh no, it's raining outside. Too bad there's not a Courage game today. Too bad there's not an NCFC game today.
But yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
So y'all escort them out, and they sit in their cars until it's over, and then come back in?
Yeah, they had
rechecking cars and everything.
Get out of the metal bleachers during the thunderstorm, and yeah, it was a mess after that.
Okay, now I feel your pain now.
You know what? You know what's a mess too? 4th of July fireworks. So many people come in and like they're like after the game, they have fireworks, and they will have everybody from the stands come to the grass, come to the field, and sit down. Man,
they finally got that right last year. They turned off all the stadium lights for the fireworks, which was pretty cool, yeah. And everyone just stayed in the stands, and they directed them to a certain part of the stands with the best view. And I think out of all the years, last year was the best experience on the 4th of July because finally got it right.
That's 3 years of, everybody coming into the field, and then it's like 10 people, 10 of us working.
Good times.
That's funny.
Oh, man. John still works there. Who else that we know?
Trying to think who was on the original street team with us. But yeah, I know John.
Zach left, too. He went to work for the marketing group, I think.
Yeah, Zach's with Wasserman, so yeah he's doing well.
But Parker's still there. He's doing tickets.
Doing ticket sales, yeah. So we
Shout
had a good group.
Shout out to the plug to my tickets.
Yeah, we had a really good group, and Seth's
still, she's still there.
So it just kind of goes to show that interns, are given the opportunity to move up in the organization. I think it's something the organization prides themselves on for sure. So
I think that's definitely a positive thing.
Yes.
Rags to riches in a sense, or just coming up. So speaking on your come up, so what positions did you acquire to get to where you are right now?
Yeah, sure. So started with street team, and then Kelly, who was running the street team at the time, was the senior communications manager, and she asked me the second year I was there to kind of split my time between street team and communications. And it's funny because I actually went into that meeting with Kelly, and I was going to ask her if I could help out in equipment and help with the equipment manager, because that was kind of one of my roles as street team. But as soon as she offered me that comms position, I was like, absolutely. Like, I want to work for her. She was driven, and I was just super excited to start my internship with her. Fell in love with communications, and when she ended up leaving the organization, I kind of filled in for her in an internship position doing her role until I was eventually hired in January of 2019 full-time as a communications manager, and then since then have moved my way up to senior communications manager.
That's awesome. That's great.
Thank you.
A testament to hard work. So do you think that having that role model or her as the leader, as your boss, think that helped you develop as a employee, as a communications manager, in general?
Absolutely. Yeah. She was someone I definitely looked up to from day one, because I saw her drive and I saw her determination. And just for me, seeing a female in that position was important to me because, females are outnumbered in the sports world, especially within our organization. So, I still stay in touch with her. I've stayed with her in Nashville actually and gone to visit her there. So I'm super thankful to have her as a role model, and you never know, one day maybe we'll be working together again, doing big, great things. So
yes, Kelly was outdriven. She knew what she wanted. She knew what she wanted, and she wasn't scared of telling the older guys, "Nah, this is the way we're gonna do it." And she did it, She did it, and I looked it up too. I looked it up too when she was working. I'm like, man, she's out here hustling, out here going at it, doing interviews, communication, Twitter, Instagram, street team, I just gotta give her, the hats off to her, because I'm like, because of her, so many of us, are doing a lot of things in the sports world still. You are working there, Parker, Seth, John, and then other people are doing other things, marketing manager, that. But because of her, she helped us out. She gave us our first step, and she believed on a lot of us. Obviously, there's some people that worked and then didn't, just did it for the money, But us that did it for the sport or for the love of the sport, Kelly was there to help us out.
Absolutely. And shout out to Daniel too. He was
shout out Daniel,
Kelly's sidekick for a while, and then when she left, he was by himself for a while and keeping things afloat by himself. So shout out to Daniel as well.
Shout out to Daniel, NC Wolfpack
Club. Yes.
Wolfpack Club. So the day I met Daniel, we had an outdoor event. Me and him, and it was and at the park. It's a race, a 2K, 5K race. But the race it started to rain on halfway through the race. So I remember I took my BMW back then, small car. It was a convertible. It was a coupe, 2-door. Having a tent, the table of y'all squished in. Then it rained. Man, me and Daniel were hustling, getting the car. The half of the car was open already, and driving back to the stadium and all that. And getting, we just disappeared. We're done. But that was the first day I met him.
I met Daniel. The first day I met Daniel was at an event as well, and it was. We were trying to find each other, and obviously we didn't know each other whatsoever. We were like, "Is that you? Are you the one in the orange shirt?" And he's like, "No." And it was this huge event. There were people all over the place, and we were trying to find each other. And then it's kind of funny because it's once we found each other, we were together for a year and a half. When I started full time, he was absolutely my mentor and helper in my position. And yeah, nothing but love for Daniel Neal. So shout out to Daniel.
Shout out to Daniel. He's out here hustling too. He was those two guys were good bosses to us because they were at an age that they could understand us, and then they would have the maturity to help us out. They were like, okay, calm down, this was gonna happen. And then because we had some bosses that not say names, but they looked at me and they're like, don't talk to me no more, and they locked away. But that's the sports world, man.
Quick, fast pace, brutal sometimes.
Yes, it is. So Morgan, tell me more about NC Courage. I know NC Courage now is cruising. We are back-to-back champions. What's going on now with them?
So they're about to leave next week for the NWSL Challenge Cup. It's going to be the first professional sports team sport back, and the girls are excited. I have been at their training sessions, making the most of these last couple days we have with them, getting all the content we can before they leave, and they're looking great. I heard Paul Riley say yesterday that they're in the best shape they've ever been in out of preseason. I feel like he says that every year, but at the same time, I think he's telling the truth. They look great. So they'll be playing on national television. It's going to be the first time that U.S. club women's soccer will be nationally televised on CBS on June 27th against the Portland Thorns. So it'll be a good matchup.
Our rivals.
Yeah, everybody loves the rivalry there. And, Portland's got some changes this year. Becky Sauerbrann's been added to their back line. So, yeah, another piece of the puzzle that'll help them get better. But at the same time, we have that same core group of people that have been here since the Western New York Flash days.
Yes.
And adding in some rookies and Haley Mace, who was drafted second overall last year in the draft. So it's going to be exciting. I can't wait. I'm already picturing what it's going to be like sitting on my couch and actually being able to turn on TV and live soccer is going to be on. And I absolutely can't wait.
Finally, some sports.
That's big time. Yeah, the sports, man, finally coming around. That's big time, though. Finally getting on that big time TV stage, man. And that's what happens when you win. You bring in media, you bring in revenue, and you get to grow something. So what was it like just watching them grow? So were you there before they started really growing, or did you grow with them?
Part of the reason that I even wanted to be on the street team is because the Courage came to town right at that time.
Okay.
So, I grew up watching the U.S. Women's National Team. I love soccer. I played it some, but it was more like the sport that I love to watch. So I knew that these big names were coming, and I kind of wanted to see what it was like to work with them. And so, yeah, these big names came to town. I got the internship, and now here we are, 3 years later, and I've seen them win 2 championships. I flew out to Portland when they won in 2018 and worked as an intern in the craziest press box to this day that I've ever been in. You have to take a skywalk to get to the press box. And it's been amazing. I see what Paul Riley does as a coach. unlike any coach I've ever seen, been around, had, even growing up. He's so inspirational, and he pushes them every day. And then they just push each other, and they're such a good team, as in the fact that like they all truly care and love for one another, and they all want to succeed, and they know it takes every single person on the team to succeed. So it really is a special group, and one of the reasons I love my job is because I get to be around them and I get to see them every day, and they're just fantastic.
They're fantastic, and the same core group is there, since they got here in 2016.
Yep, 2017. Yeah. Jessica McDonald's still here. It's Jessica McDonald, Lynn Williams, Jaylene Hinkle, Abby Dahlkemper, Kristen Hamilton. They all moved here together from Western New York when Steve Malik bought the team. And it's crazy to think that so many of those people have stayed here and worked together, and just like what that means for team chemistry is just unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And then the same coach, Paul Riley, and the whole coaching is the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sean Hanna's is there, and Paul Riley,
Nathan
and then
Thackeray, goalkeeper coach.
I coached with him. He helped me coach a session for challenge, and I saw him. I'm like, dude, you probably don't remember me, but I was a street team. He's like, I probably saw you, but after years, I know you forget people. But
yeah,
I told him he's a funny guy.
Oh yeah, cracking jokes during practice. I love that.
We had coaching and all that. I'm trying to coaches like some 15-year-old kids. He's out here telling me jokes, and I'm like, dude, now I can't laugh. We got to train these kids out here. But yeah, they have a mentality of a winning mentality. Like, these girls are the Bulls, like the Bulls, or they're like the Golden State Warriors. Like, they are built like this. We have the Kevin Durant, we have Curry, we have everybody else. Like, those girls are amazing. I'd rather watch them girls play than MLS sometimes, because they're like, those girls are fast, bro. Lynn Williams, if you think you're fast, nah, bro, nah, you ain't gonna catch it. Nah.
Watching her run down the field is absolutely amazing. I love it. Just you think she's not going to get to a ball, and then she beats it by a mile, and she's just running around people. And I am so glad that I was never put in the position where I have to defend her. And I feel for anyone who has to try to defend her, because she is so fast.
Plus, we got Crystal Dunn too, another fast, and her position is, we have her as forward here, but in the World Cup 2 years ago, she's playing like left back. Which is, I'm like, oh my God, like, this is two different positions, It's like, she did it, both of them, like, very well. And I look into the World Cup, I was like, how she's going to take it? But she did great.
Yes, she did. And I hear, I'm with the girls when they're doing interviews, so it kind of helps me having, like, an inside perspective. And I hear her say, like, I'll play anywhere a coach will put me besides goalie, and she truly will, and she truly can. She studies the game. She knows the game. To put her in a left back position during the World Cup, people were scratching their heads, like, how's she going to handle this? This is not her natural position with the Courage. But it was like, by the end of the World Cup, it was like, wait, what's her natural position with the Courage again? Because left back really suits her well. So, yeah, I mean, I sit here and I think about players for, marketing photos or whatnot. And when I sit here and I'm like, I have 22 players to choose from that are all household names at this point, it's a blessing, because it's like, this just goes to show that women's soccer is growing exponentially, because we have all these girls that are now recognizable that 2-3 years ago might not have been as recognizable as they are now.
Then you get Abby too and all that.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? I always thought women's soccer was better than men's soccer. Growing up in high school, my girls, the women's soccer team was better. The USA girls soccer team was always better growing up, and then now the Courage soccer team was always better. I just always thought I always felt that. I don't watch, obviously, but I always thought that way. I don't know. I want to see them play each other one time. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, we talk about that some too. It's like, well, it'd be pretty cool to watch, the girls take on a guy's team because they're so differently paced, and like there would be so many different things that would play into it. But it would be fun, just kind of
right. And I know it's physical, but it's not like basketball or football physical. So it's like I feel like it's more even, more based off skill and speed, and I think it'd be more of a fair match. I don't know. I guess I don't play, so I don't know.
I know my boys are gonna be listening to this, but if NCFC and Courage play one day, I'm sorry guys, but I think the girls beat you guys. I think the girls will win. Like, I just see the chemistry of those girls, like not a match. Like, they're like, if we had like a team chemistry, like 100 from 1 to 100, they're like 99, 100. Literally, like, team chemistry is so good with Paul Riley being there and all that. And Paul is so nice guy too. I met him like when he was a street team, like, and then he would sit down like, "How you doing, lad? How you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing good, coach. How you doing?" Like, just ready for the game, ready for the win, We're here practicing out here in the rain, and this British accent comes in, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm like, he's just." But when you hear him talk in the games, and and during practices, it's just like their language is just their language. Like you can't break them off. I'm not sure what's gonna happen if he leaves. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Paul Riley, he's a great guy. He puts 100% into everything, and it shows. And I think that's definitely played into the success of the Courage.
So you're working for the communications side of the company. What's been the wildest like interview that the girls have done, or like you have seen?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to think. I've probably seen, if I had to put a number on it, 500 interviews at this point. And at 3 years in, I'd probably say I'd seen 500. There are days where there will be 8 to 10 interviews in one day that's set up. I'm trying to think. Once a guy flew down from Michigan to interview Jessica McDonald, and he came for the day. He brought his 12-year-old daughter, and that was mind-blowing to me that he would put the time and money into coming down for his podcast all the way from Michigan to interview Jessica McDonald. So I think that's probably one of the more crazy things I've seen.
Yeah.
Once again, goes to show the people are recognizable, names are recognizable on the Courage when you have people flying from all over. But it always just kind of I'm always taken aback when I get a phone call, and I get calls from numbers all over the place, and I answer every single one because I'm assuming it's a media member somewhere. And when I get calls from people, and it's like, "Hey, I'm Joe Smith with ESPN," that I'm always kind of taken aback by that because it's just like, "Oh, ESPN." Like the channel that I watch every morning. This guy works for them. So stuff like that, I'm still in my position kind of like taken aback by, because it's like, it just goes to show how much the women's game's growing. And to me, that's something that is really important to me. And I know as the game grows, so does our team's potential and our club's potential.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're really in the thick of it. Without you actually, like you said, social media and all that stuff, without you doing all that, a lot of that advertising, a lot of people probably won't be around. So without you being like the middleman in a sense, just to be in the thick of it. So I'm sure that they're really thankful to have you as well. So
yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't want random people calling them all the time. So
right.
I'll take that for them, for sure. But yeah, I absolutely. Probably my favorite part of the job is just helping the team grow in any way I can. And, players might not see it now, but, an ESPN interview that's seen by 500,000 people, you could gain so many fans from that later.
Of
and
course.
So as they continue to grow, I think it's starting to really click with them of like how much they actually impact the growth with all the media and community appearances that they do.
So has anybody called you like fake? There's somebody like, "This is Joe from like Fox Sports." And then it's like some kid, some 14-year-old kid.
Not yet. I try to do, Google searches every time just to make sure we're not having any imposters. But yeah, you never know. One day, as they continue to grow, that might happen. So, got to make sure I'm vetting all these people before handing over Crystal Dunn to them for an interview. Or
Right.
Abby Dahlkemper.
Yeah, because it's like, hey Morgan, yeah, this is Christian. This is from ESPN Deportes. I'm gonna need an interview at my house.
Oh no, yeah, we don't. It's kind of different now in these times with coronavirus, but any appearance that the players go to, I go with them to make sure that it's all good. Haven't had anything crazy happen yet, so let's knock on some wood that
There you go.
that stays that way in the near future.
So how's our boys doing? How's our boys?
They're doing great. So USL put out a statement that they're going to try to get back to play on July 11th. I know Steve Malik's been very vocal about, whether that's a possibility or not. We have lots of moving pieces with, we're renters at Wake Met Soccer Park. We don't own that. So there are lots of different pieces that need to come together, but just the fact that the league is pushing to start, I think has really sparked, these guys that have been training in small groups or by themselves for months now.
Since like March, I think.
Yeah, since March. The team got one game in, and looking back at it, this still blows my mind. One game in the season happened, and then all of a sudden,
Out.
shut down everything. So I know they're excited, and they're in phase 2 of training now, which means they can train with more people, which obviously is important in soccer. Training by yourself every day gets hard after...
And boring.
Exactly. After 3 months, 4 months, I don't even know what we're at now. It's been so long. So excited for them, and, even if it's not July 11th that they get back, hopefully it'll be soon after that, and it's developing every single day. So really, really hoping we could get back as safe as possible, as soon as possible.
But I hope we do get them to get playing soon. But again, the no fans, that's not right. And it's like I played, classic and all that. And I played with just our parents being there, and I was playing, but like as professionals, you want the crowd to be there.
Absolutely. And as a club, we wish we could have a crowd there too, because we know the importance of that for our organization as well. But, we might have to get creative. I've seen all kinds of things on social media, from cutouts of fans in the stands to having fan noise coming from the speakers during the games. Whatever we need to do to make soccer happen and to help out the guys as much as we can. I'm sure we're going to take those steps when the time comes. So it's not super awkward.
I saw that Manchester United, Man City, had a screen, like in the screen on the side, and had like a bunch of squares, and that bunch of squares were like live fans from their home, just watching them. So they were like zooming. So the players are playing, but the fans are zooming in, and then like certain ones had like a little box. And I'm like, we could do that. Steve Malik, you hearing me? You think you should do that?
They're gonna do that at the Challenge Cup, I believe. So hopefully,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, hopefully that all works out well. They'll have virtual fan zones basically for the teams, and I don't know. Maybe we could sneak in. Christian, what do you think?
We can sneak in, yeah.
Sneak in the virtual fan zone.
I think we could do that. Yeah,
Wear your Courage shirt and yell really loud.
Crystal!
You don't automatically get in?
I don't think so. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's run through the league, not through the teams.
That's true.
Anyone from the league listening, please let us in.
Please let us in, Q and Chat, and Morgan too, please. You do a favor for me, I do a favor for you too back, all right? So,
Put you on the podcast.
I put you in the podcast, all right?
For sure.
So I want to steer the pot a little bit. Steer it,
Uh-oh.
Charlotte got a new team now. How do we feel? I know deep down how we feel about this, but I want to hear your point of view.
Yeah, a lot of different opinions come into play here, but something that I've heard since the moment we found out that they were getting a team is that soccer growing in North Carolina will ultimately help us. And so whatever way that the sport grows, that'll help us as a club, and that'll bring more awareness to soccer in the state of North Carolina. So we know the state already has a rich history. We have some great college soccer here. The Railhawks, now North Carolina FC. We had a team down in Wilmington at one point, Charlotte. So growing the game ultimately will help us. So yeah, we all wish it had been an MLS team here in Raleigh, but hey, who's going to turn down a Charlotte-Raleigh rivalry when the time is right? So
that'd be nice.
Hopefully one day we'll have an MLS team in Raleigh as well. But for now, taking the Charlotte MLS bid as a positive is important for us and important for the game, especially after this time of coronavirus.
Yes.
I mean, things have changed so much now. So when we get back to normal, we'll take anything we can get.
Yeah. So a year from now, MLS will be at Charlotte. Charlotte will have a team.
Yeah, are y'all going to support Charlotte until Raleigh get a team, or is that the home squad?
NC Courage all day. All right, NC Courage all day.
That's a good one. I'm going to stick with that answer too, Christian.
NC Courage all day. I'll probably go. I'll probably go to some game just to see the vibe. Because when I saw Charlotte got a team, and then on the news, the whole year of the bidding, everybody was bidding. Charlotte wasn't the favorite one at all. Charlotte was like the first 9 out, like the first 2-5 out. Like they're not gonna get it. Raleigh looks stronger. It was Raleigh, who was Austin, I think, San Antonio. Those top 4 that wouldn't get the top 2 picks. So Charlotte was out of it. All of a sudden, the Panthers get new owner. And then a week later, they get an MLS team. I'm like, man, this is not fair, But I'll go out there. I'll go watch the game or two, and it is 2 hours and a half from here, so it is a drive. Or we take the bus there. I don't know. I feel like once Steve builds the stadium here in downtown South, MLS is going to look at us more closely. They're like, this DC, Charlotte, Raleigh, Atlanta market could be big. It could be a big rivalry right here. Having those 4 teams right there, it would be good, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know what the commissioners say, but I think that those 4 teams right here in this area, it should be big.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Steve Malik, since he bought the teams, he's been a visionary, and he's going to do everything he can to keep growing the game here, and he already has in so many ways. So the Downtown South project is going to be huge, and I know it's something that he's been working on for years and years now. So it's going to be fun seeing as that project progresses.
So do you have any updates from Downtown South or the stadium itself?
The biggest update would be that Steve's acquiring land. It's no secret that he's acquiring all the land needed. Coronavirus obviously is putting a lot of stuff on halt, but he's taking this time to continue to grow and learn and putting the time in right now while other people and teams might be on hold for their projects. He's still working during this time. So, like I said, a visionary who's willing to do whatever it takes to grow the game. And so we're really lucky to have an owner with that mindset.
Yeah, that's big time. Definitely helps. Seems like I got a lot of good leaders in that business, NCFC. I got a lot of good leaders. Set a precedent for y'all.
Absolutely.
Steve was a good pick. Steve was a good. When we got the team, it was shocking. It was shocking a little bit when he bought the team. But once he starts to, show his leadership and show this is where we want to go, it makes it easier on everybody, because it's not like just, okay, we have two soccer teams, one stadium, and you guys sell tickets, you guys sell merch, you guys go do communications, do media. It's not like that. That he made a plan for everything, and I just like that from him. He made a plan, and he has one goal. That's 919 MLS. Hashtag 919. Is it hashtag MLS 911? No, 919 or. I had it in my Twitter feed.
I about to say we've kind of moved away from the hashtag in the past couple of years, so I'm struggling to think of it. So
let me see what. Oh, it's hashtag 919 to MLS. I still have it on my Twitter feed.
Shout out to Christian's Twitter.
Yeah. Even after I left, I still supported the team. I still went to the games. I still went out there, and it was fun. It was fun being there, working there. It just, the sports world is just unique, and you have to like it, because, like Morgan knows, you have to like it. If you're not, you know how to be like those 3-hour delays. You're like, and then make it like, so like those games that we stay there, we made up games up.
We did. We would play the headbands game or the.
So it's a game like this. They go like this. What am I?
Yeah, like what the name on the phone. Yeah, I mean, we'd have to entertain ourselves for sure.
And then we did like videos, and we did singing, and we did so many things. We ate. So quick story, I told Chrissy one day, Chrissy, I don't want to work. I'm like, I help in the beginning, but let me just chill, watch the game. She like, just go. Once the halftime ends, just go all the way up above the last, like the last rows. Like, you sit there, just sit there. And to the end of the game, then you come back and just close everything. And I'm like, trying to Chrissy, but I'm like, that was the best right there. I'm like, yeah. That game, I was like, just chilling. So what I did was, back then those seats weren't sell out. So I sit flat and you took a nap.
Oh my goodness.
I took a nap, and I'm like, yeah, I was tired. But working with those people, that group we had, I think that was the last internship that they did, I think. Or they're still doing internships.
No, yeah. Well, so there are still certain internships, but street team.
Not like that.
RIP to the street team.
Yeah.
But like, I have, I think, 4 communications interns right now, and I do my best to be the best role model and biggest help I can to them, because I know I wouldn't be where I am right now if it hadn't been for my internship. So, absolutely love like interviewing interns and like getting to know them and, helping them succeed in any way possible, whether that's, get class credit or just for the experience itself. And these 4 that I have right now are having like the weirdest internship experience of their life as they do it remotely without anything going on game wise. So yeah, it's different for them, but it's like we all hop on Zoom calls almost daily and chat, and I can tell that they're still getting something out of this, whereas many people's internships got canceled when everything went down. So that makes me super happy, and I love to see them succeed and see them grow, because I know how important it is to them. Yes,
and it's important, that like that type of internship that we did was unique, but the new internship, the new internship with the pandemic going on, and you can't go outside. It's hard for everybody, you can't be home all day, you gotta be out, you gotta see the sun, you gotta see something, you gotta watch something, it's so hard. And I feel them right now, for March, April, I work from home. So like, I was like, oh, this is my new office now, I guess, this is just out here, just home. eating anything I want, eating my whole fridge out for the first week. And it's hard for them right now. Yes. But I think at the end of the day, we will be back. We will see each other again in the stadium. And at some point, we'll be like, 2020, out the window. Throw it out. It never happened. Never happened. So Morgan, I want to talk to you about what's going on with the future of women's soccer.
Awesome. I can talk about this all day.
So what do you feel is going to happen? What's your goal for the next 5 years and then 10 years?
Yeah, sure. I think last year's World Cup helped us grow so much. Not only just it wasn't even about winning it. It was about just like how many eyes were on women's soccer during that time that helped us grow, and how many like text and phone calls I got that was like, wait, which of these players is on the Courage? Stuff like that. Like people starting to put together the fact that these NWSL teams have these World Cup champions on them. It was massive. Obviously, we would have loved to build off that momentum this year, and then having an Olympic year as well, we would have loved to build off that momentum. But now we just have to take advantage of it next year. Now we have it a little bit more spread out with the Olympics being delayed. Now we have 2 years in between the Olympics and the World Cup, and it's really going to be about pinpointing how to keep the momentum going between the two. And the players are our biggest asset there. We had 7 players playing in the World Cup. I think we will have 7 players playing in the Olympics as well. So not just for the U.S., but other countries.
Wow.
So using those players, and as those players become recognizable on the world stage, reminding people that they can come see those players in North Carolina playing on the same team together is going to be really important. So, yeah, just building off these big tournaments is a huge, important piece of growing at the club level and growing awareness just in general for the game. So, even if the U.S. doesn't win a tournament, just the chemistry that the U.S. team has is undeniable, just like the Courage chemistry is undeniable, and people notice that, fans notice that, and they start to fall in love with the team and the players. So we're going to continue to try to build off of that. I have a huge responsibility of helping grow the game through social media, and so it's about, pushing myself to be better every day, to put out more posts every day, to stay on top of the trends like TikTok every day, and I'm gonna do my best to help out in kind of that lane that I have.
So do the girls like, or the guys like to use the TikTok and the trends, or they just want to be alone? Like, I'm just a soccer player.
A little bit of both. We hopped on the TikTok train probably back in like February as a club, and Dre and DJ with their dancing, they're unbelievable dancers. So like their stuff is great, but then there's some dancers on the Courage that are a little bit more shy about it.
Bibiña.
I haven't gotten to Bibiña on TikTok yet, but at the same time, where it was like at first we were kind of just handing it off from player to player, I've also seen just the benefit in like what one of the videos I take and then putting music over it, like what that does as well. And it's just such a different demographic than we haven't been able to hit as well over the past years. So I have stepped up my TikTok game for sure. You can ask my family. I'm like slightly obsessed with it because I'm like, oh, this trend, how can we make this happen? How can we put a video together that'll go with this song? And I'm proud to say that one of our TikTok videos was at 16.1K views this morning.
Okay,
so.
Okay. Hey, you doing your thing.
Yeah, like I said, slightly obsessed with it. But, I mean, how many other platforms could we post on and that many people see our video? It would take all of them combined to get that many views, and it'd have to be a really good post. So, yeah, just learning these little things that never thought that I'd be 3 years ago. I never thought TikTok would be a thing. And
Right?
Here it is.
Yeah.
And so it's my job to use that to the club's advantage and get as many eyes on our players using that platform as possible. So we'll see. Well, honestly, I heard the coaches made a TikTok. They haven't. They won't let me see the video yet. So I'm trying to talk Paul Riley into giving me the video. The last time I asked him, his response was no chance. So we'll see if we can twist his arm a little bit.
Yeah, try to twist his arm a little bit to get them videos out. But that's fun. I like to hear that the chemistry between the front office and the players are good. Because if that division is bad, that whole organization is just going to waste. Because if players don't respect your front office and front office don't respect the players, the team's not going to work. And the way that we're doing it, I'm talking about you, the way you're doing it and the whole NCFC is doing it is great. It's just we working together, y'all working together and working to one goal, which is to reach to more people and to more eyeballs. Because at the end of the day, more eyeballs equals more tickets, and more tickets equals more butts in the seats. And that's more national TV games, more ESPN games, more CBS games. And because last year we had the ICC Women's Championship, right?
Yep, hosted it in North Carolina, which was huge.
We had a team from Spain, England, and France, right?
Yes.
So it was Man City, Atletico Madrid,
And
Lyon.
Yep.
That Lyon team was bad. They were bad. But we beat them the first time, right? We beat them the first time.
Yeah, we beat them in 2018 and lost to them 1-0 in 2019. But hey, we love it. We're creating a rivalry with a team in France, which is something you never thought would happen.
Who would know that, man? A team from Kerry, against a team against France,
That's dope. A rivalry. Just be flying out to each other's home field just to play. That's
Yeah,
nice.
I will gladly fly to France anytime the club would like me to go play Lyon, for sure.
Steve, so you know what's going on next time we hosting it in France, so we can beat them at their home ground, okay? So we'll be champions 2-1, okay, Steve? Just hear me out, buddy, okay? I hear.
Steve, please listen.
Please listen. So, one fact about Steve that I could, help him out a little bit. His hero is a UNC player, UNC basketball player. His name is Phil Ford. Phil Ford, we know Phil Ford.
Yeah.
Phil Ford is my best friend. One of my best friends. The dude's old, though. He's like 68, 60-something. He's old. But that's Steve's, hero. When Steve was growing up, Phil was like Messi, Ronaldo of UNC basketball.
Yeah, he was tough.
So, every time I see Steve, I'm like, Steve, Phil says, hey. And Steve's like, he looks at me, he's like, who? Phil Ford, man. 4 corners. I go like this. 4 corners. And he laughs. He's like, okay. I tell him I say what's up, too, and all
I learned
that.
something new. I didn't know that about Steve.
Yeah, he's a big UNC fan.
Well, I did know that much. I don't hold that against him. But.
He travels to games. He travels out to games. He would travel to, Vegas to watch a tournament. He would go to Michigan. He just flies out.
Die hard fans.
My boy was he's like, what time the game? 8 o'clock? It's 12 o'clock. It's noon. We make it right now. Take the charter plane, fly through. I bet that lifestyle is fun though. Just like Morgan be like, Morgan, you want to go to Cali? Want to have lunch in Cali? Let's go, man. Let's go.
Let me know when I can have that life, Christian. I'll be flying out to Cali with you.
Having that
Q and Chop in Cali.
There you go. So we have a guest. We have a guest that we did a show. Brett. He's inviting us to his condos in Asheville.
Oh.
So brand new condos, and he does hotels too, boutique hotels. So he's gonna help us out. We're thinking about doing a big show there, have people there and all that.
Oh, how do I get on that invite list?
Subscribe to the weekly blog. Subscribe to the weekly blog and you get invited. But yeah, I'll make sure I get you that invite. And But having those those people like that, makes everything much easier and much fun. It just without having fun working, it's called work. It's like we work. It's a job, job, job. But when we were all there, me, Morgan, Zach, John, Seth, Parker, we were a mess. And I have stories, man. I could tell you. I don't know if I'm gonna tell one story though. That we went to Boogaloo. It was me. I think you worked the morning. I think
I did work.
You worked the morning with someone else, Zach or something.
Elise and I would go out together. You hear all these boys' names being dropped. The two girls on the street team. We had to stick together with all you guys.
But she went back to Nevada, I think. Or
I think she's in Oregon right now. I talk to her occasionally. So
it was both of you guys, both of you girls, and there was me and Zach, or was it me and John? It was someone. So it was burglar. So this is Fable Street. It's July or August. Bunch of people drinking and eating. So it's at night, right? I'm like, I'm still getting thirsty, And then Lone Rider, being one of our sponsors and partners, I'm like, they were right next to us. So the guy's like, "Hey, you guys want beer? Just go in the next booth and just tell us, right?" So I'm like, "Hey guys, I'm getting thirsty." It's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "Just give me the lightest beer you got. I don't want to drink, drunk. I don't want to drive drunk." He's like, "Okay, I got you." So he gave us two of us. First one, and then the guy's like, "Just let me know you want more." Go back. 10 minutes later, I go walk back. We got 2 pints. We chug them up. We go back for the third one. We go back for the third one. Now I feel like, I feel good now. I feel like you're warm inside. And like, so my buddy of mine has a cigar shop. But he has a tent, like, maybe like 10 booths the other way. So there's a bunch of smokers out there, cigar smokers, all that. And then right now, nobody's paying attention to NCFC. Every, Lone Rider and Riley Craft and, all this other bunch of beer crafts and all that. So, like, nobody's that paying attention. Unless we have free stuff. Was in the morning. Morning, we have free koozies. It was free koozies. It was free keychains, bottle openers, I think it was, and free bracelets, I think. The morning people, you guys killed it. Everything was away.
Sorry about that.
So all I had was to do was give out flyers. These are flyers. Like, we had a stack like this big of flyers. So people don't want flyers. People want koozies and, "Where's the koozies at, bro? Bro, where's the koozies?" The girl in the morning, she would give us koozies. And I'm like, bro, she gave it all, I don't have any more, And so nobody was paying attention to us no more. We put the spin the wheel thing away already. We put everything away, but there's nothing to give. So what I did was I'm like, yo, I think it was Zach. I'll be back. I'm gonna go get a cigar and I'm gonna come back. So the last an hour and a half of the festival, I was smoking a cigar in the back, giving away, drinking some beer, and then giving to people, some fans. I'm like, I hope Kelly doesn't show up, or Chrissy, or Katie. I'm like, then I'll get fired. But like stuff like that, like those moments, I'll never get them back. Like stuff like that, like never getting back. Actually, me and Elise went to the web.com tour in Wakefield. We get to hold the trophies and all that. And at least she didn't care about golf. I'm like, I did care. I'm like, can I go watch one hole, please? Like, can I go watch one hole? She's like, make it fast. So what I did in return, I reward her for a good, good partner, some cousin Maine lobster roll. Oh. So they were there. So I gave her like the whole lobster roll, and I'm like, tater tots. I'm like, because you were cool to watching me watch one hole, I'll buy you lunch. And she was like, oh, deal. And she picked the cousin Maine lobster, and then came out. That stuff is kind of. Have you eaten it before?
I haven't. I've seen the food truck, but
It's
I
like
haven't had
it's like
food.
it's like the cheapest is $20. I think the cheapest thing is $20. You know,
But yeah, there were some really good memories on the street team for sure.
some good memories. I wish they have it back. I wish they had it back. You know,
Maybe one day.
I wish they have it back for the new generation of kids, of college kids to come in. Because at the end of the day, we were like a bunch of 19, 20-year-olds, being the face of two soccer teams, NCFC and NC Courage. So, given that power, like you could do all that and you could do all this and the players and the coaches and front staff. It's fun. It's fun. So Morgan, what's coming for? What's in the latest for NCFC or NC Courage? What's the latest?
What's the latest? Just getting back to soccer, getting back to normal as much as we can, and keeping up this momentum. Everybody's looking at their phones right now. They can't go out. They can't do too much. So keeping them occupied with content is going to be really important as we ride this out.
What's the social media for the counts for the both guys, for both NC and Courage?
Yep. So for the Courage, it's at the NC Courage, and then for North Carolina FC, at North Carolina FC.
The TikTok too.
TikTok is at NC Football Club.
And that's for both teams.
Both teams. Yep.
Do you have a personal TikTok?
I do not. I just sit and watch on the club account. I sit and watch all the videos.
Q, the last remarks before we go out.
I think it just goes to show you what apprenticeship does when you have good leaders and you follow that footsteps, and then you lead people, and y'all have a successful organization. And that's what it is. You start from somewhere. You have somebody that starts that generational, that go get it, that go get it. So it means a lot, man. So you gotta go do that. So when you're building your own business, make sure you have somebody that's gonna build, and that's somebody that's gonna implore into others success and love and peace and happiness and all the above.
That's true, Q. Morgan, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you guys. It's fun.
It is fun. This is fun.
I'm in the player's shoes, so I now know what it's like. Next time I ask one to do a podcast, I'm going to remember you guys.
There you go. So, guys, today we had Morgan Brown, Senior Manager Communications for North Carolina Football Club. Guys, thank you again. Join our weekly blog, go to our website, sign up. You might get invited to Asheville, out here. So, thank you guys for listening, and see you to the next one. Bye.